What started as another grueling day at the sink became the moment that changed everything. In a world quick to laugh at those who struggle, Alana's resilience turned humiliation into opportunity. She showed that true strength doesn't need applause, it shines even in silence. But perhaps the most shocking part? Sometimes the very person society ridicules is the one powerful people admire the most. So the next time you see someone working in the background, remember, you don't know who's watching. And you don't know how quickly life can turn. Because for Alana, the girl mocked for washing dishes, one billionaire's step into her story transformed shame into triumph and left her sister reeling in regret. The clatter of dishes echoed in the back of the bustling restaurant, where steam curled above sinks stacked high with greasy plates. A young black waitress named Alana stood with sleeves rolled to her elbows, scrubbing away while her apron grew heavy with stains. To customers in the dining hall, she was invisible, just another face among the staff. But for Alana, this job meant survival. Her mother's medical bills piled up at home, and each shift was a fight to keep food on the table. Life had never been easy. Her sister, Clarissa, born just 2 years apart, had always seen herself as superior. Clarissa's lighter skin, her flashy clothes, and her shallow circle of friends made her the kind of woman people noticed, while Alana was dismissed as the girl meant for dirty work. To Clarissa, this difference was proof of her own success and Alana's supposed failure. That afternoon, as Alana bent over the sink, water dripping onto the floor, she didn't expect anyone to notice her. The air smelled of soap and grease, and laughter rang faintly from the dining room where the wealthy enjoyed their meals. But soon, that laughter grew sharper, louder, and dangerously close. Clarissa had entered the restaurant with 3 of her fashionable friends, their heels clicking like the drums of judgment. They didn't come for food. They came for her. Clarissa leaned against the counter, smirking as her friends pulled out their phones. "Look at her," Clarissa sneered, pointing at Alana with a manicured finger, still washing dishes like a servant. "I told you she'd never escape this life." Her friends chuckled, whispering cruel remarks meant to slice deeper than knives. "She's sweating like a horse," one giggled. "Imagine smelling like that every day." Another added, "No wonder nobody takes her seriously. Who'd want a maid for a sister?" Alana's cheeks burned, but she stayed silent, her hands moving quickly through the soapy water. She had learned long ago that responding only gave them more power. But Clarissa wasn't satisfied. She pulled out her phone, clicking a picture of Alana's wet apron and the dishwater stains. "Smile for the camera, sis. The world deserves to see how low you've fallen." The group erupted in laughter, the kind that spread through the restaurant, drawing eyes. Customers turned their heads, some smirking, others whispering. To them, it was just another spectacle, the humiliation of a hard-working woman treated as nothing more than a joke. Inside, Alana's chest tightened. Every plate she scrubbed became heavier, every breath harder. She thought of her mother at home, frail but proud, who always said, "Dignity isn't in the work, it's in the heart." Still, it hurt that her own sister wanted to strip her of that dignity in public. But what Clarissa didn't realize was that someone important had been watching. At a corner table, a billionaire investor named Richard Lennox had been quietly observing the drama unfold. Known for his wealth and ruthless business deals, he was rarely moved by strangers. Yet something in Alana's composure, the way she kept working despite the cruelty hurled her way, struck a nerve. He leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing. In a world obsessed with appearances, he recognized resilience when he saw it. Clarissa's shallow cruelty disgusted him, and Alana's quiet strength stirred something unexpected. He decided he wouldn't stay silent. The tension snapped when Clarissa's laughter reached its peak. She raised her phone higher, announcing loud enough for the entire restaurant to hear, "This is my sister, everyone! A dishwasher! Proof that some people are just born to serve!" Gasps and chuckles spread across the dining hall, but before Clarissa could press send on her humiliating post, a deep voice cut through the air. "Enough!" The room stilled. Richard Lennox rose from his seat, his tailored suit catching the light. His presence alone commanded silence. He walked toward the sink where Alana stood frozen, her hands still submerged in soapy water. He turned to Clarissa, his gaze sharp as steel. "Do you know who you're mocking?" Clarissa blinked, startled. "She's my sister, a nobody. Why?" Richard's lips curled into a cold smile. "She's the only person in this room who's actually working. And unlike you, she doesn't need to tear others down to feel important." Whispers erupted among the guests. Clarissa's face flushed red, her friends shifting uncomfortably under the billionaire's glare. Richard didn't stop. He pulled out a business card and placed it gently on the counter beside Alana. "I've been looking for someone with grit, someone who understands hard work. Miss, I'd like to offer you a position at my company, starting tomorrow." The room exploded in shock. Clarissa's jaw dropped. Her attempt to humiliate had backfired spectacularly. For the first time that evening, Alana lifted her head. She looked at Richard, then at her sister, whose confidence had crumbled into silence. Her hands trembled, but not from fear, from the weight of a moment she never imagined. Clarissa stammered, You can't be serious. She's nothing but—" Richard silenced her with a single glance. "She is everything you're not. Resilient, grounded, worthy of respect." The restaurant erupted into quiet applause. Not for Clarissa, but for Alana. The same people who had smirked at her humiliation now saw her in a new light. She wasn't just the girl washing dishes. She was a woman recognized by power itself. That night, Alana returned home to her mother, who smiled weakly when Alana told her the story. Tears filled her mother's eyes. "I told you, child." Dignity always wins. Alana's life didn't change overnight, but it shifted. She walked into Richard's office the next morning with her chin high. For once, she wasn't invisible. She was seen, valued, and chosen, not despite her hard work, but because of it. Clarissa never lived down the shame of that day. The picture she tried to use for humiliation became the story of her downfall. And Alana's story? It became one of quiet triumph over cruelty.